Over the past few years, we've seen a spike in the amount of false narratives and stories aimed to make you feel a certain way on social media. So researchers set out to look at how emotions drive the spread of fake news. The results have just been published, and joining us now are two of the researchers, Dr. Christy Galletta-Horner, an assistant professor at Bowling Green State University, and her father and research partner, Dr. Dennis Galletta, a professor at the University of Pittsburgh. Thank you both for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So cool that you both are researchers, father-daughter. Tell me a little bit about what your research was hoping to find out.
Well, we were disturbed by bias in the news, and the extreme version of bias is when people make up things. And so there have been many efforts in the research to try to mitigate this, to give warnings to people that this is fake, and those didn't work very well. So what we wanted to do was go deeper into it and find out, what are the emotions behind what pushes people to spread fake news, even when they know it's fake. And so we wanted to see if the emotions would play a role in what what people are thinking when they do this.
So a lot of people would say, okay, that sounds great, but how do you figure that out? How did the research work exactly?
Well, we came up with some actual fake headlines. We just dreamed these up. The research team voted, and we decided which headlines to go with. Some of the headlines threatened the candidate, some of them threatened the campaign, and some of them threatened the party itself. And what we wanted to do is have a variety of these things, and we showed them a randomly assigned one of these. We showed 879 Amazon users, and we then collected a full set of emotions from each person to find out what they were thinking and how they were feeling, and especially after they found out that people were spreading these things that they now knew were fake.
Did you see trends in how people responded emotionally?
We did. We found out, perhaps unsurprisingly, that people were more likely to believe headlines that are aligned with their existing beliefs and ideologies. So liberals were more likely to believe negative news about conservatives and vice versa. We also found that people reacted more negatively, with more negative emotions, when the headlines were attacking their party or kind of putting their party in jeopardy. They were also more likely to say that they would try to push back on the fake news only if it attacked their party. So there was a lot of kind of letting it go if it was attacking the other party in comparison.
Given today and just given the world we live in, is there anything that people can do to stop the spread of fake news?
We hope so. One of our biggest findings, I think, was that the biggest group of people, in terms of the way that they emotionally engaged with the fake news and how they felt about it being spread, was what we called the cold group. And these people really reported low levels of emotions, and they also said they would ignore or disengage from the spread of fake news. They didn't want to stir the pot, so to speak. We think it's really important to stir that pot, particularly within our own echo chambers where we might have more credibility. So, fake news is prevalent and it's dangerous, it's harming our democracy, and we should all be concerned about that. So along with asking ourselves questions like, how does this make me feel? Why do I want to share it? Is it a good source of information? We need to, of course, interrogate the way that we interact with social media so that we can be part of the solution rather than part of the problem.
Right, everyone has a different opinion of what is a credible source. Did you find anything specific in terms of the age of the people? Were people of a certain age group sharing more fake news than a different age group?
Well, we did not measure the beliefs about age, but we did measure their emotions and found that when we separated people into the bottom third, the middle third, and the top third, which is 42 and above versus 31 and below, we found that the middle group seemed to be the least responsive. They had the lowest number of emotions, and the others were higher.
Interesting. So would you think that it was surprising what you found? Or did you expect it?
We were surprised. No, we were surprised by that. We don't often find these kinds of non-linear relationships. We have all of our statistics are based on linear relationships, and this was not. So it was interesting to find a U-shape where the youngest and the oldest seem to be the most reactive to these news items in terms of emotions.
It's promising that the younger and the older agree. Really interesting research. Thank you both for your time and for sharing this with us.
Well, thanks for having us.
You're welcome.